Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about pulling in 3/4 inch pipe with a standard SX100 ditch witch with the regular feed blade. So what I've chosen for this is an older, one of the narrower stance machines. You know, you've got the narrower 100s, those of you that know, and the wider set ones. And the wider set get better traction, the narrower ones don't. Also, your big turf tires get better traction, and your smaller, narrower tires don't. So I've chosen the narrow machine, the narrower tires, and these tires are very worn out. Also, the ground we're doing this on gets heavy equipment, heavy trailers, lots of heavy trucks driven on it, so the ground is very compact. So I've chose all this to give us kind of worst case scenario or a worser case scenario to show that it can still be done. Now again, this is the standard machine and blade that a drop berry crew would have. The regular feed blade, not a pull blade. Now what we've done is we've picked up a 3/4 inch pullback finger. Okay, so all you're going to need, aside from what a 100 SX crew would have, is a pullback finger and a piece of rope. So I've got some cheap old rope here. You can get it at Walmart. You can get 50 foot of it for $2, $3. And so what we're going to do here, I've got 3/4 inch pipe, and I've put some electric tape in areas to mark it so you can kind of see it going in, because without these little markers, you can't hardly tell it's feeding. So what you'll start by obviously putting your finger on your pipe, and this is being recorded on an iPad, guys, so I hope you can hear me, and I apologize if the audio is bad with the wind and whatnot. So when I get my finger on, whether I'm boring, plowing, pulling pipe, I like to pull it and make sure it's seated, it's grabbing. So you'll take your rope or string, and now these fingers come with swivels on them. Now if I was going to be doing this every day, I just cut that swivel off and tie right to the loop, but you can just as easily tie right to the swivel. It just gives you a little more space between your pipe and your blade, because the swivel is going to be up against your blade, and you want your pipe as close to your blade as you can have it. So this finger gets used a lot for boring, so I'm not going to pull that swivel off. But if I had this devoted to just pulling in pipe, I would pull that swivel off. And that's also another reason you want to make sure that your pipe is seated all the way down your finger as far as it can go, because ideally you want your pipe as close to your blade as possible, because it gives you better directional control. So we'll fold this up. Now we'll put our string, now you want your swivel up as close as you can to your blade. And we're going to put this rope in the blade just like I would a service strap. And get it pinned. Now if you're burying pipe, you're probably going deeper. You know, you're probably going to be, at least 8 inches, 12 inches, 14, 16. So you'll have on your chute that your blade goes in, you'll have at least one hole available. Now I've went one hole down, so I have one hole up here, or one hole available. So I'm going to run my rope through the hole on my chute. Okay? I'm going to pull it to make sure that this is seated, the swivel for this finger is seated up against my blade as close as it can be, and I'm going to tie it off. So what I'm doing by tying this off is the rope won't feed like a service drop would. It's essentially anchored now, so it's going to pull. So when I start this machine, it's going to be harder for you to hear me, so I want to explain. I've dug a little pilot hole, about like that, and about 8 inches deep. As I start, I'll put it, I'll start it in forward, and then I'll kick the shaker on. Now you'll want to stand on your finger and your pipe as it enters the hole to start it going down. Okay? So, and I'll probably do 5-6 foot here. I won't do very much, but I do want to note that the longer you pull, the more anchor you have on your machine, which is going to be a traction issue for you if you're pulling long. I've done about 250 foot with this particular machine, with different size 1/2 inch and even up to 3/4 inch pipe. So rocks are going to have a little bit to do with it, depending on the size rope you can fit. I would choose the thicker rope if you can, because rocks will abrade it. So let's get this started. Let's have a look. Now I want to start it forward, get my shaker on, and then guide the pipe in the hole. so what you've seen, like I said, we're only gonna do 5 or 6 foot. But we started it up, we started it in forward, kicked our shaker on, guided it in with our foot, and started pulling. So once you've guided it in 2 foot or so, you're generally good, and you can get your foot off of it. I mean, if you want to stand out a little longer and get it, you're good to go. But all right, guys, I appreciate it, and I hope this helps you save some money and learn something.